So we are finally done with this challenge. We are level 1. We got a shit ton of runes. We used the cold great stars. So the main stuff we used in this was the cold great stars, or you change out the astral. Actually, you know what? Let me get next to this bonfire here. But the main stuff we used here. White mass was pretty good for Moog. Honestly, throw out the heaviest armor you can. I typically like the Royal Remains just because it would give us some health with it, even though it's not necessary. This is an insanely good talisman for this. It enormously boosts physical damage negation, which allows us to not get one-shot a lot. Erdtree's Favor, really good for more equipment load, so we can put on heavier armor. This is my flex slot. Basically, these two are my flex slots, and we need Raktagon Source Seal, absolutely. You can get it early with it. So I ended up using Cold Great Stars for stagger people. Not really too much for big bosses, I don't guess, but mainly for small people, just to stagger them. It's still okay for big people, but a katana for also just stacking up, and it's really good early weapon to use. I was going to use Bloodhound's Fang, but you have to use like too many resources to use it. I don't think it's like that worth with it. We used the level 1 club very early on. A rotten battle hammer. Who do we use this on? Oh, we use this on Malekith here. But as long as you get the black blade thing that allows you to parry him, you'll be fine with that. Serpent Hunter. We made it +6 after we did the fight because I heard it is a pretty good weapon to use, but I didn't like it too much. But this one was for Rykard. And, a Dragon Communion Seal, because I heard this is a pretty good seal to use for level 1. So I just picked it up. It's a little bit annoying to get, but it's still pretty nice. And we used the finger seals early on, just to use the Blood Flame Blade. And I think that's pretty much all the weapons we really... Oh yeah, and the... where's it at? It is... Where is it at? This one. This one's to do the Godskin Duo, the hardest thing I've ever done. God damn, I hated that fight. Just use sleep. It's so much easier than the way I was trying to do it with cheesing out with Scarlet Rot, but fuck that. Just use this. It's better if you use it at a higher level, but obviously I didn't have enough stuff for it. Okay, talismans were probably like the biggest things we used. We didn't even get all of our flask all the way up, just because we only have a certain amount of health, so it doesn't really matter too much with this. Talismans, we used this one a little bit, a very tiny bit when I really am in need of stamina. Otherwise, we just used a green turtle talisman, because it kind of does the same thing. These were very important to get. So I wanted to use the dexterity one for the Bloodhound weapon, but that kind of fell through, so we just didn't use that. This intelligence one for the sword that put the Godskin Duo asleep, I'd highly recommend to get that. These seals, get them early on. You got the 0 one, the +1, the +2. I started out with the Amber Medallion, but you don't have to get that. Source Seal, insanely good. Honestly, I'd probably even say it's easier to get the Source Seal than it is to get the Scar Seal. I think we used this on the final boss. It wasn't that worth it. Anything else here? I wanted to use a Blue Dancer Charm, and I did use it at times, but I don't know if the damage numbers were really worth it to use it. I heard the Crucible Feather Talisman's pretty good for dodging, but I didn't use it too much. Maybe for one fight, I didn't like it too much. Ritual Sword Talisman, I used a good bit because we have such low health. Again, a max health is easy as hell to do. And this one, I accidentally got this, but it really came in handy with Moog to allow me to one-shot him. And the most important things, besides all of that, is... Wait, where's this? There it is, right here. It was... Boom, boom, boom... Physiques here. And... Where's it at? Jesus. Okay, so this one... Bubbles here, absolutely. It's so mandatory. It's very helpful so you don't get one shot. You can actually learn patterns of bosses and whatnot. This one for Moog, you pretty much need it for this. You don't have the health to tank it. I wanted to try out some cheese with this one, but it didn't work out well. You can skip that tier. This one, the Crimson Whirl, helped me out with the Elden Beast, Elden Stars move so much. Highly recommend getting this one. It was day and night. Let's see these other ones. You could get these for extra damage early on, but I wouldn't super recommend it. This one's pretty good too. Just give us a constant health regen. They're mainly the ones we can utilize the most at level 1. This one gives you it's just another flask, so I don't really like it that much. This one gives us HP over time, so that's why I prefer that. I usually run these two, and I'll swap them out depending on the situation. Memorize spells. So the spells we used a good bit here was not too much. I tried Rock Sling, but Rock Sling's kinda ass when you don't have the stats for it. I pick up Frozen Armament because I wanted to coat my weapon in frost, but later on I realized there's Ashes of War that can do that, and they're much better. But I picked up the electricity one. We didn't really use it that much, except on the Moog that was underground, not the Lord of Blood. This one's the most important though. Blood Flame Blade is insane. It is so crazy how much damage Blood Flame Blade does. I highly recommend getting this one the most. I think that's actually the most important one we have here. Maybe you could do something with Swarm of Flies, but I never could too much. On top of it being nerfed, it's still good, and we just don't have the stats to really utilize it too much. But Blood Flame Blade, absolutely the best spell here that I found so far. And Ashes of War, super important ones. So, you could use Quick Step to get away from stuff. I never personally used it. You could also use the Bloodhound Step one, but I don't know how to get that one. I was too lazy to look it up. Determination's kinda good. I used it once, but I hate buffing up every 2 seconds. I'd rather just buff up in the beginning and then just go on about my business. These two, actually these three, probably the most important ones that I used. Poison Great Stars was for Malekith and I think Godfrey, so I just used the Lost Ashes of War to like duplicate them. Same with these cold ones, just because Frost as a status effect in this game is insanely good. And these stomp moves here, because they can cheese out like NPCs a bit. It used to be better, but it got nerfed. It's still really good. Like, NPC invaders really don't know how to dodge this too much. They'll dodge the initial hit, but not the hit after it. So we just use that. So on top of making it like easier, you can oh, what the fuck? I didn't even realize this shit was here. You can use summons, which I didn't use summons except for Star Scourge Radon, and I felt a little bit bad for that because I don't really want to use summons too much. But to make it easier, I never used Ashes of War. Ashes of War can absolutely help with this, but I decided not to for the extra difficulty. And on top of it, you'd have to go out and get the stuff to upgrade it. But last thing, and we can close it out with it. You can use a Great Rune, and you go up the towers to get them, and then you can use one of these rune arcs. But again, since I used the summons in the Star Scourge fight, I was just like, maybe I could go back and do it without it, but I was just like, the game throws you like 58,000 summons, to where I'm like, you gotta be very silly not to use them. So I just used them, even though at the back of the head, at the back of my mind, it might like gnaw at me, but that's why I decided not to use Great Runes for this, even though it'd be very helpful. Like Godric's Great Rune's really good for this, and I forgot someone else's. I forgot all of them, but I know Godric's gives you extra stats, which can let you use a lot more weapons. And I think that is about it. So that kind of closes it out. We have beat Not all the bosses, because there's like 160 of them, but we beat all the remembrances, I'm pretty sure. Um, this would be very awkward if I missed one here and I'd have to go back and get it, but these are all of them, and yeah.